Afternoon, everybody. I was going to start back off with that. Yesterday, I was talking about Walden, the book that Henry David Thoreau wrote about pushing life into a corner, and I couldn't remember the exact way he said it, so I just printed it off here, and I'll read it, and then I got a couple other things I wanted to hit on too. It says, oh, and excuse me, I got losing my voice or something, but I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. To live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life. To cut a broad swath and shave close. To drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. Ever since I read that book a year or so ago, and pushing life into a corner is what really stuck out to me. Reduce it to its lowest terms. So to me, I took that as like reduce what matters in your life. So we have all this stuff. I don't think it's not only just Americans. I think it's a lot of the world in general. We just run for all this stuff that we think is making us happy. And it's not. It's just keeping us busier and keeping us from knowing life, from enjoying life, from even seeing the little things in our kids that should bring joy and don't. Our kids, I don't think I'm better than anybody else, but they come, they're like an annoyance because you work all day and you're tired and wore out, and then you have to deal with your kids. It's like it's their fault that you're tired, and they're not the ones that bought the house that you can't afford, or the ones that bought the vehicles you can't afford. It's not their decision. But anyways, that's what I wanted, and that's what a lot of my videos are going to be about, is just life and the meaning of it, and what are we supposed to be getting out of it? What does God have us here for? And the other part I was going to talk to about today was in life, plan past tomorrow. I shouldn't say everybody. Like I said, in all these videos, I think of this stuff because I'm the one struggling with it, or a friend is the one struggling with it, or whatever. Think past tomorrow. Like we do all this stuff because tomorrow is let's run so tomorrow isn't as busy. But before you go buy a house or a car, something that's going to really strap you down, sit down. What's your goals in life? What do you want? What do you want for your kids, your wife? What do you guys want? Sit down and talk. Me and Christy have been doing this a lot lately because we're struggling with what we should do, or what Christy should do with her job. There's a lot of different things going on there now, and so we've been talking a lot about our goals and what we want for our family. Not in the next month, the next year. We're talking about vacations in the next 5 to 10 years, just because it's fun. We love to talk about vacations. That's what we really want to do with our kids. But talk about what you want, and if you're running to make money, and you don't even know what you're making it for, what you even want, then how do you go about your day knowing anything, knowing you're doing God's work, knowing you're making anybody's life better, that you're of value to anybody else, in a sense of lifting them up and helping them. But yeah, I encourage you to sit down and talk about the hard stuff, like the really hard stuff, finances, your kids, and are they acting out? Are they behaving, and why? Like, why? I feel like our kids are the worst when me and Christy both work that day and we're not around, and they're with the babysitter. That's when they're the worst. Like they miss us. That's all they want. They just want to be with us. That's all kids want. They don't want you to work so you can go spend money on the weekends doing dumb shit. Like, they don't care about new cars, new houses, fancy campers. Like, they just want to be with you. They just want to be with their mom and dad. That's all they want. And so ask those questions. What are we here for? What are we doing? Like, why are we running? Why are we so busy? And is it helping you towards your goal? Is it helping you and your family get to where you want to be? And not when I say ask the hard questions, not so much yourself individually. Don't be selfish and say, well, if we did this, I would be a lot happier. Who cares about you? Like, you're in it. I'm talking mainly to people in marriages. Like, you're here for the other. The wife is for the husband is for the wife. It's the way it is. You give it up. So you can't be selfish and say, well, if you did this, I'd be a lot happier. I run into this all the time. I always, in my head, it's just the flesh, this world in the flesh we're naturally selfish, and it's tough to think of others. But if we're constantly just thinking about what's going to make us happier, we're never going to be happy. It's the old saying, if mama's happy, everybody's happy. And that's true with if everybody's happy, if you quit thinking about yourself and work for the others. So just think as a family, like what's going to make you, if you make your wife happier, then you're probably going to be happier. Anyways, that's how I am. If Christy's happy, in a good mood, I mean, there's no better feeling. It's just great. The kids are happy. It's fun. We parent together much better. And so just sit down and ask, like, what do we want for our family in the next month, in the next year, in the next 5 years? And what are we doing to get there? Are we working too much? And what do we got to do to get out of it? We struggled a lot with mortgage payment. We got that under control now. Like, I almost focused on it too much, but we did some things to get that, taken care of. And like, is that what, like, we're called to do, God calls us to do hard shit, really hard shit. And we don't always want to admit it, but maybe you're called to sell your house and move to a cheaper one. The market is ridiculous right now. So it's not like you're going to find a cheap house anywhere, but maybe yours is worth a ton. Like, we're called to do really hard stuff. J.D. Greer is one of his, I like listening to him. One of his sayings he said once, I heard him that I'll never forget, is he was talking to his congregation, his church, and he said, not everybody in this church is called to be a missionary overseas. But a lot more of you are called to be missionaries overseas than that are doing it. And I believe that to be true, with life. Like, well, I'm not going to do that. That's not me. Well, you might be right, but you might be wrong. I'm super, like I said, I'm just as guilty as anybody. I can guarantee I'm not doing as hard a stuff as God is calling me to do. I just know I'm not. I just know I'm not. And I'm working on that to really do what God is here calling us to do. Anyways, I'll wrap it up. Go home, sit down with your wife and your kids if they're old enough. My kids, Jack, he's 7. He's maybe old enough to understand, but to make a family plan. And, what do we want out of life? How are we best going to serve God in this life? And how do we go about that? Sit down and, talk about the hard shit. Make a plan and just do it. And good luck to everybody. Let me know what you find out.